Alright, boy, here we go. 2024 season, cooking with Jim. We going on YouTube this year. Absolutely. And what better way to start off this entire season than with the Panthers and the Saints and cooking a big old gumbo. A little chicken, a little andouille, a little mustard greens, a little poblano, making it a little non-traditional. But boy, is it gonna be good. We're gonna start off with a title sponsor. Thank you, Miller Lite. As freshin' as the Rockies. Alright, boy. We're gonna start off with getting our veggies chopped up. We're gonna make our Holy Trinity. And that starts with a beautiful yellow onion. We're just gonna take that root off right there. Take the top off. We gotta sharpen our knives. We done got ready for this season, but not for this. Alright. Get that chopped right in half, boy. The dang dog hovering over the trash can't help. Looking for some of that pizza done thrown away. Ah, there we go, boy. Now we're just gonna small dice this. That looks about good. Get your things on there and just rock and chop it down. We're gonna prep everything. Throw that root away. Get that in your Tupperware container there. Get it ready. Move on to the next side. Now, one way, if you're gonna prep this and keep it in the refrigerator, one good idea, put water on it. Put water on it, and that way it won't stink up your whole refrigerator that whole time. Now, we're gonna move on to the poblano. Get the seeds out, give it a little whack and tap, put it right down the middle. Get this one down the middle there too. Oh, just got a little bit in the eyeball, but that's all right, boy. Get this thing into a small dice too. Now this is taking place of our bell pepper. Bell pepper's great, but a poblano's even better. I love it. It's a little spicier. Give it a little different depth of flavor compared to just a bell pepper. That's what I like most about this andouille chicken gumbo. It's just a little bit different than your traditional chicken gumbo. All right. And we're gonna move on to our next part of the mirepoix, which is a Holy Trinity, so French for the mirepoix, and that's your celery. Cut it right in half. Get it down the middle there, boy. You're just gonna do kind of a rough chop on the celery. We wanna know it's there. It's gonna cook for about an hour and a half in that there pot. So it's gonna get basically cooked to a damn oblivion anyway. So you ain't gotta be too cute with your dice. And it ain't like a veggie soup where we kind of wanna see everything. Right down the middle, right there. Got a dang dog over here scratching the damn chin. We're gonna use green onion, the white part of the green onion for the stew. And then the green tops we're gonna save for the garnish on top. Those are good. So just get your roots off. Scrape that in your can there. And then just thinly slice these up. And go until they go a little green. Right there is perfect. Set the green tops to the side. And put that right there. Shoo, boy, we're getting thirsty. Is that delicious? All right, moving on to jalapeno. Not very traditional, could be. A gumbo, it don't really matter. Get that. Get your jalapeno started here. Get them seeds out. Good thing's a spoon. Get that spoon. Scrape out your jalapeno like that. A little cut right there. And just do a little scrape. We don't want this thing rocking and rolling hot. Dang wife's got to eat, so we gonna take them seeds and throw them in the trash can. Heck yeah, boy. Now, we gonna start off a half. If we wanna add some later, we'll find out. Because we also gonna throw another hot pepper in there. Because I like the flavor. Right, boy. Get that jalapeno in your bowl. Down there. Now we got a serrano. Now, smell that serrano. I love. Serrano is a little too hot for me. It is. But we're gonna put it to the side. But when you cook it all day, it just gives it like a really fresh bite of heat, and also just kind of a good flavor. Kind of does what cilantro does, provides like a brightness to such a heavy soup gumbo like this is. So get that scraped off your board. Keep a tidy board. Get this in there. Well, we all only gonna do half. My contacts are gonna be burning tomorrow for sure. All right, so that just a little bit of heat's gonna add the heat. If we want flavor of that later, we will get it in there later. Now, one other thing. This is how you make a good gumbo great. And I'll pause. Now, you want these stalks. Just trim up the edges. You don't know what mucky thing it's been sitting in the grocery store for the past couple of days. We just kind of clean that up a bit. Now, traditionally, you just use parsley. And we ain't just using parsley, we're using cilantro. Again, it just brightens the whole dish up. Makes it a little easier on the palate because this is very thick. It's very heavy. It's a very heavy dish. It's very, I can't think of the word. Rich. It's very rich. So we're gonna just really small dice this, and this is really a secret of cooking with Jim. If you're using cilantro, even if you're not, we're probably gonna throw it in there. If it's anything we're cooking to a crack, like gumbo, soup, we're gonna use cilantro stalks because they're magical. Now we'll save a little bit of the top for maybe a garnish, or we'll save it for a chicken stock that we're gonna make for this recipe here. So now we have a parsley here. We're gonna cut that up too. Let's get this in a bowl. That all goes in at the same time. You want it to cook down with all those other vegetables. So that we're gonna hold on for just a minute. We're gonna get that in a Tupperware container. Hold that to the side when we get our roux going. Get that right there. All right, boy. Now we're gonna move on to a flat leaf parsley. This is a good, I'm not the biggest parsley fan, but it does add a lot of flavor in this sense. I don't like it just kind of fresh on top. I love cilantro fresh on top. Parsley, not so much. It does make it nice and bright in the stew there. So we just want about that much of the parsley. We will freeze that and save that for our future chicken stock. We already made one chicken stock for this one. We're gonna make that for a future chicken stock. Gotta save that for chicken stock episode. So get that parsley in your little cute little container. Go on Amazon, get you a bunch of these things right there. And boy, we're gonna move on to one of my favorite things in this world, and that is the okra. This recipe, okra's pretty traditional in the sense of a gumbo, of having it in there. So, pretty good. You just want to lob off the stems here. I probably ought to save that for the birds. I'm sure I'll hear about that one later. But anyway, just a nice little bite size. Man, I love little okra seeds. You can just eat the okra seeds all the time. That would be the ticket. Get them in a container there off to the side so you can see. And then let's get some more of this okra chopped up. Boy, these getting a little slimy, but that's just what it do. All right, boy. Now, some of them, you gotta look. Because that one looks a little suspicious to me. Because it's a little light colored and it may be a little woody. So, best thing to do there. that top piece is gonna be okay. So we're just gonna do that. Man, I love okra. Shoo! Someday I'll show you how to make some beautiful, just kind of like edamame style okra, which is unbelievable. Dip it in soy sauce. It is unreal. Oh, making shoestrings. I made that one time. You cut these up real thin and you fry up. And some damn corn milk. Fry these up. Make little shoestrings go on top of a gumbo. It's really nice. Alright, boy, here we go. Here we go. We got garlic. Nip the tops off of those. And then we're just gonna give them a smash. Just like that. They say you bruise it. I don't give a crap. It's going in a big old pot of stew. That way we just run a knife in it. Man, this garlic smells really good. I've been getting really bad garlic lately, but this is really nice. Good consistency there. Got a little tap. We left that out in this Tupperware container here. So we'll get that migrated right in. Alright, now we gonna move on to a big show. This right here is what makes this dish so good. And this is mustard greens. And if you ain't ever had a mustard green, take you some off and taste it. Boy, is that good. And it, golly, it's good. So, I'm gonna take this here. We already done rinsed it. Yeah, my mama probably asked if I rinsed that stuff. And I sure did. Sure did. Now, we're just gonna get the stalk out of here. We're gonna take it like that and just kind of put it in little things like that. We're not too picky about how you do it. You could cut it bigger, smaller. I like it a little bit smaller. And a hint here, that I should have done that, is save these right here, because they got a lot of flavor too. That's gonna go in one of your soups and stews. You can make that chicken broth, and that is really nice too. So just be a little patient, and the birds like them too. This is a great time to make this dish, because you don't get mustard greens in season all year. It's only this point in the fall, generally, is it this easy to find mustard greens without driving to 7 different grocery stores. So get your greens in. They will have kale and collards. You can substitute that. I probably prefer I like kale, but I probably prefer the collards in this if they didn't have mustard greens. Alright, boy, here we go. Gumbo time. We got all the vegetables prepped. We got a bird out here quartered out. Middle night, you are delicious. Now, we're using skin on bone-in chicken thighs. I did cut the bone out, but I did want to save that that beautiful skin to kind of help baste it. So we want to go meat side up. Now what this is going to do is just give us a nice little coat of giblets. Just all those small pieces in there are opportunities for crunchy bits. And that crunchy bit means flavor. So we're going to do it with a little Tony Chachere's blackening season. This ain't my favorite Cajun seasoning, but it is what it is. They were running low on what I wanted. So just a little bit of that on there. Now the most important thing, padilla. Complete seasoning. Find this in your Mexican food aisle. This right here, my friends, is what makes the world go round. I went to one of the best Mexican restaurants ever. First time I tasted that food, it stopped me in my tracks. I've had a lot of Mexican food in my life, but this one is the only one that stopped me in my tracks. And I walked up to that lady that owned the place, said, "What are you using?" She said, "This right here." And you want to know why it's so good? MSG, baby. MSG. Yes, it's good. Is it bad for you? Just as bad as salt. Just deal with it. It's just as fine as the next. Get that going. That's all you need. We're going to put that on a 425 degree oven down there. Now we're going to get started on our roux. Now, you can use 100% peanut oil. I don't like that because it gets a little greasy on the lips. So I used to like using butter, but butter's got a lot of water in it. So you just use ghee. Alright, so that just means it's got a lot of that water added. So we're going to go with about a half a cup of ghee. Beating that all up. Then we're going to go in with a quarter cup of peanut oil. So that peanut oil, just a little bit, is going to preserve that flavor of the gumbo while still not leaving it as greasy. Now, if you're using a beautiful Le Creuset like I got here, which you should use, you want to make sure you got a rubbified thingamadoodad right here. Little whisker. Get that going. And then we're going to get over here flour. All-purpose flour. Use King Arthur if you have the opportunity to do so. That's melted, so we're going to just drain this in here. About a cup of flour now. And just give it a good whisk. Now, I'm a professional, so I can get this roux a little hot. And I can be a little aggressive. If you're using gas, be a little less aggressive. Maybe go medium-low. But if you're using a kind of electric stove top like this or induction, you know, medium-high heat's fine. Maybe stay at medium. It's going to take you a little longer, but if you burn it, you got to start over. That's one of them things. Get that whisking in there. And just let it ride. There's a bunch of stages of roux. We have right now what we call, let me grab this. This is cast iron coated, so it does get hotter than shit, boy. In there, we just get a little bit of blonde roux. Now this, you could do a little soup and make out of a blonde roux, but it gets a little darker. Little peanut color, little almond butter color. That's going when you stop for an étouffée. But we want a nice dark almond butter, almost hazelnut, not quite Nutella. We want that color. And that's going to make a gumbo. Gumbo needs to have a robust roux, real dark. And then when we put our vegetables in, that we also going to cook it a little longer than usual to make it dark. Now, unfortunately, I have not made myself a roux spoon. A roux spoon, that dog I'm trying to cook. You sloppy water over there, I can't cook. So, you get a big old roux spoon. Usually a big old spoon looks like this with a flat bottom on it. But the reason it's got, dang, dog's slapping the water over there. The reason a roux spoon's got a flat bottom on it is because you need to constantly scrape the bottom of this pan to make sure it doesn't burn. You're just going to keep whisking maybe every 30 seconds to 60 seconds until about the 15-minute mark. Then you got to kind of be on it about every 30 seconds at least. So just let that roux get to wooing. And then we'll let it go. It's burning off a little bit of water here. We'll leave it at that. We're done with the whisk. We've already whisked up that flour now. Now just let it go for a little bit. And we'll check back in when this roux starts wooing to a different color, my boy. Alright, boy, here we go. Our roux's done wooing. Look at that beautiful color there. That is a nice dark. It looks almost like a nice almond butter. It's a good color to aim for because it will get dark. Now the key is when you start smelling a little bit of that burnt popcorn, stop right there. That's perfect. That's perfect as it gets. Coming in with all your vegetables. This is the onion, the bell pepper, Actually, we use poblano. We use jalapeno. We use cilantro stalks. Serrano, about a half a serrano. And then we also use celery. That's going to be a holy trinity, boy. We're going to get in there. Let this get for about 10 minutes. Hey, Google, set a 10-minute timer, please. So now this is going to keep going for quite some time. Now I'm sorry because I just turned your Google's machine on there, the haste. It's going to get real dark. That's why you want to pull it a little early because you're going to continue to cook this roux and you don't want it to burn. Make sure we get all the garlic up in there, boy. Set that to the side, throw that in the thing. Now, one thing, I was cutting up the rest of that mustard green, and I realized that the mustard green still has sand even after I washed them real good. So you want to take that mustard green, and I put it in a big old bowl. And what I did there was just soak it for about an hour, let all that sediment fall to the bottom, and then pull that out, and then strain it real good. So at this point, we do want to salt. We're going to be not too generous on the salt, just want about a big old tablespoon. But the one thing we're going to do, put in that badilla. Complete seasoning. It's complete for a reason, because it's the best thing. You want to be liberal. As they come with this right here, badilla is what makes the world go around. Now remember that it's got MSG in it. If you're scared of it, come talk to me. I'll make you not scared of it and we'll eat some food together. Alright, get that going. 10 minutes, the vegetable is going to get soft. And make sure you got that homemade chicken stock already made. Because we can't be sitting around waiting on chicken stock, because when this thing is ready to go, it is ready to go. You don't want to burn it. Keep that moving. Keep it moving fast. Set that down on the side and take a breath of Miller Lite. It tastes so good when it hits your lips. Use a little bit of Louisiana hot sauce, which they didn't have in the store today. So we use a little bit of Frank's Red Hot on that. And then one other thing we're going to use that we didn't mention in the programming is go to your Better Than Bouillon and get smoky chipotle. That's a really good bouillon there. They also have one sofrito, which is really, really good too. They're very salty. Very salty. So please be careful. Just a little bit, about a teaspoon will get you for a big old pot like this, just to give you a little depth of flavor for that smoky chipotle to complement the poblanos that you got in here. So let that work. Watch the Panthers lose, because that's what we best at doing. Thank you, Mr. Tepper. Thank you so much. All right, get that in there. Now, one thing is important, don't put black pepper in ever. Ever. While you cooking. Put it in at the end. About 3-4 minutes in before you're done serving the dish. Because we want that fruitiness that comes out of pepper. If you don't believe that black pepper is fruity, then you should just taste some freshly cracked and you'll learn something new. This is getting really, really nice. Ah, boy, here we go. Meal time. Here we go. Okra in the pan. Parsley. That's about a third of a cup in the pan. Oh, don't let them okra try to hop out on you, boy. we're gonna put our andouille in. We had to use chicken andouille, which is kind of hard to find because the wife has that old alpha gal. That dang tip gave her. In with the andouille. Give that a stir. All around. Look at that, boy. I tell you what, I don't know if I've hacked gumbo or not, but the fact when you use cilantro stock, it just gives it a bite of such fresh flavor. So in there, we're gonna go in with a mustard greens. Bunch of them in there. Look how beautiful that pot is. This ain't no regular old gumbo. This is a good gumbo. Now, here's our chicken broth that we made earlier. Look at that nice dark color in there. That's what happens when you kind of let it stew. You sear it before you put it in there. We're going to get a little bit of more. Might put a little bit of water in there. Get that cooked down. Don't forget that thyme. Get a little bouquet of thyme in there. Get that down. That's going to be a killer flavor in there. Get that wilted. We're going to add about another 2 cups of chicken broth here in a minute. Once we get this all boiled down, these greens are wilted. And then it's going to be about an hour, and we're going to say goodnight to this. Once we get that chicken out, that chicken should be done here in about 5 minutes, and we'll get that bird in here too. Alright, boy, here we go. It's Miller time. Now, we got these beautiful chicken thighs. Now, what I tell you, beautiful crispy bits all on them, them small thin bits that turn crispy. Now, I don't want skin. The skin was just keeping this nice and juicy and flavoring it while it cooked. So we're just gonna take the skin off. We're gonna give it to the dogs once it cools, because it damn thing is hotter than hell. And then we're just gonna do a very, very rough chop, because we're gonna cook it in the dadgum oblivion in this gumbo. Alright? So just make sure you ain't got no skin. Put that right there in the pot. Take your next one. Take your skin off, boy. This is much easier than dressing it when it's dang ready to go with that dog's gonna love that. Now get a little bit of that juice in there too now. We will strain that pan out, so don't you worry. I know y'all, you sap sucking sons of bitches, are looking at that damn beautiful gold chicken juice in the bottom of there, asking if I'm on throwaway. I ain't gonna do it. Throw that in there. Look at that. You just take that skin right off. You can fry it up more. You ain't got no dogs. Fry it up a little more. Make a couple of cracklings. Just put that right back in a 425-degree oven. Let that roll for another 10 minutes. And you can put that right on top of your gumbo here. Right in the pot. And this is going to be just a beautiful pot. Man, that couldn't have worked out better. It's like I wrote a recipe for this or something. Right in there. This is a 22 Le Creuset. Don't know what the heck that means, but that's what it is. Take that in there. In the pot. Now we're going to put this thing to bed. It's going to take a little nap for an hour. Give it a little stir. This thing's already boiling. This thing keeps a lot of heat in it. So, 1 hour. Take that down. That is a 26 I lied. Right on top. Dog's trying to lick my paw. Here, you can take the paw. Here you go, boy. Yeah, there you go. Alright, put that thing on low. Let it simmer for 1 hour. And then we'll get back to it. Alright, boy, here we go. She's been simmering for an hour. Let's see how it turned out. Oh my God, boy. It's like I've done this before. Look at that beautiful, beautiful gumbo. Make sure you fish out your thyme stalks. But let's get in here with a spoon, boy. Little bit of okra, little bit of that. I haven't salted this or nothing. It's gonna probably need a little bit. We'll probably use a dash of soy sauce, which make it real nice. We're gonna burn a ton. I'm gonna tell you that, but it's gonna be worth it. Hot damn, boy. You thought I was from damn Louisiana after that pot of gumbo. Here we go, finally plating up this gumbo here. We took a ramekin and we have a little Carolina gold rice from Oriental, North Carolina, and we put a little olive oil in there. And then we're just gonna pull that beautiful rice out. Look at that. Now we're gonna take our gumbo. Look at that beautiful gumbo. That's gonna be hotter than heck. We're gonna take that gumbo and just put it all the way around there. Hey, Mr. Wilson. I'm putting it in there, boy. Oh, where's it coming in? Look at that beautiful plate of gumbo. We're gonna take that in there. Get that off the top a little bit right there. Now we're gonna take a little bit of green onion. Green onion. For me, we're gonna do a couple dashes of hot sauce.
Hot sauce?
Yes, sir. We're doing hot sauce. And then we're gonna take 2 big old pieces of French bread. And right there. And look how beautiful that is, my boy. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week.